Match 21, Mothra, Heisei vs. Hedorah, Showa, by Christian Salibert. But the benevolent deity of Infant Island, Mothra, lightly lifted her wings, then let them settle back to the ground. She rested upon her massive temple and listened to the songs of the cosmos. It wasn't often that the mighty Lepidopteran could slumber peacefully without interruption. Many a time her attempts at rest were interrupted by a call to battle. Unfortunately, this attempt wouldn't last very long either. The serene silence was suddenly pierced by the cosmos screaming in terror. Mothra's eyes lit up as she looked down upon her priests and saw that they were being menaced by a tentacle of a greenish-black sludge. Mothra chirped angrily and fired a blast from her antennae, striking the tentacle and vaporizing a large portion of it. Suddenly, a shrill scream, not unlike a telephone ring, was heard directly outside the cave. Call for Mothra! Call for Mothra! Anyway. The cave began to shake, and Mothra watched as the infuriated Hedorah came smashing through the wall. Mothra chirped at Hedorah, who raised its arms in anger and let out a reverberating shriek of its own. Flapping her mighty wings, Mothra took to the air and smashed face first into Hedorah, knocking the smog monster over backwards and out of the caves as Mothra readied herself to attack. Hedorah was back on its feet faster than expected and fired a jagged bolt of energy from its orb. Mothra reacted quickly and was able to avoid the blast. She returned in kind, unleashing twin golden beams from her antennae. The beams hit their target, but punched right through him, blasting the ground behind him. Hedorah gargled in pain and took a step forward at the same time Mothra began to advance as well. That was a lot. Hedorah began to raise its arms to attack, but Mothra began flapping her wings. The powerful gusts of wind were too much for Hedorah, and it was quickly forced back. More and more Mothra flapped, trying to put as much distance between Hedorah and her cave as possible. Just at the right time, Mothra fired her energy beams again, this time at Hedorah's feet. The blast sent the beast tumbling to the ground and careening down a hill. Pass.
The smog monster rolled down the hill for what seemed like forever, until eventually hit the ground with an earth-shaking crash landing on the biatch. As Hedorah began to regain its wits and rise to its feet, Mothra hovered down from the hilltop, flapping her wings wildly. She began striking the invader with her mighty wings, stunning the slimy beast as she rained blow after blow upon its head. Suddenly, Hedorah reared its head back and fired an energy bolt from its orb. The bolt ripped through Mothra's wing like paper, blowing a hole the orange circle on her wing. Mothra cried out in pain and swerved away from Hedorah, momentarily retreating as her wings smoked. Hedorah let out another echoing sound that sounded eerie like laughter. Mothra turned to face Hedorah again, and this time flew directly at him. Before Hedorah could make a move, Mothra fired her golden beams again, but this time fired them again and again. They blasted through Hedorah's chest, legs, and face as the mighty moth neared her foe. Her last beam punctured Hedorah's left eye, effectively blinding the smog monster on that side. Hedorah stumbled from the blow and screamed in pain. Well, I thought he gargled in pain.
Whatever.
With Hedorah now turned away from her, Mothra moved in even closer and began shedding her electric scales. Hedorah turned around just in time to receive a large cloud of scales in the face and started waving its arms around wildly in an attempt to strike its foe. Mothra fluttered her wings, gaining more altitude and invading Hedorah's reach. More and more electricity enveloped Hedorah's body as Mothra continued her attack. Hedorah's eyes flashed as it fired another energy bolt to strike its opponent, but it was not prepared to have its bolt reflected all around him by Mothra's energy vortex, until it hit him in the chest, knocking him flat onto his back. Hedorah screeched in fear. It could already feel its body starting to dry up. Pass.
In a desperate attempt, Hedorah fired a blob of acidic sludge from its chest. The corrosive sphere struck Mothra in the chest and immediately ceased her electric scale attack. Mothra cried out in pain as she felt the slime dissolve her fur and begin to eat away at her flesh. I don't think moths have flesh, but whatever. As Mothra struggled to dislodge the sludge, Hedorah returned to its feet and fired another bolt of lightning from its eye. The blast struck Mothra right in the chest and sent her flying back. Hedorah fired again and held the bolt, sending Mothra careening backwards until she smashed into a mountain and fell to the ground, landing on her back. As Mothra flapped her wings, trying to get back to the air, Hedorah advanced. Just as it seemed that Mothra would return to the sky, Hedorah stepped on her wings, instantly grounding her. It began stomping on her wings and thorax, each blow drawing a pain streak from the colorful deity. The slimy demons suddenly stopped, and Mothra thought that perhaps it had decided to give up. Unfortunately, that was not the case. A glowing red bump began to emerge from Hedorah's head. Mothra suddenly felt very cold and wet. Yeah.
Oh my.
Hedorah began pouring sludge onto its victim, covering most of Mothra's body with the vile liquid. Oh my. Mothra.
That could mean one or two things.
Yeah.
What did I come back to?
Oh, just Hedorah spilling his juice on Mothra.
But from which end? From his front or his backside?
I feel pretty sure backside, but maybe front. I don't know, it's kind of hard to tell from the movie. His underside, there we go. Mothra tried to escape, but it was in vain. Hedorah was still atop her wings, and each time she was able to move them, they merely splashed in the toxic goo. Pass to MM?
Honestly, you guys might as well just finish without me because I have no idea where you guys even are.
Okay, fair enough.
Or what's even going on in this match.
Alright, GVJ, take it.
Is it finally Mothra had enough?
Yeah.
Finally Mothra had enough, okay.
She really had enough if you go twice.
Her eyes flashed a bright blue, and golden lightning bolts fired forth from the underside of her wings, electrifying the smog monster and sending him crashing to the ground. With a mighty fap, Mothra managed to...
You sucker!
Yeah, and to get the audience attention, Mothra managed to ride herself and take to the air. She may have been weak and stained with Hedorah slime. Ooh, but she wasn't out yet. She was determined to drive this vile beast from her home. With an angry cry, she flapped her wings and dove in to attack Hedorah. Unfortunately, the attack was in vain, as Hedorah responded. Burst of corrosive sludge from its chest. The ball hit Mothra directly in the face, completely covering her right eye. Hedorah should really learn how to aim. Mothra immediately turned straight up into the air and flew erratically as she felt the sludge doing its job. Her small legs unable to reach her face, she could do nothing as the slime ate away at her eyes. Hedorah watched its foe flew around the beach, spinning and shaking in vain in an attempt to dislodge the sludge. Pass.
Suddenly, Mothra stopped moving, save for the flapping of her wings. Burned, battered, and blinded, and covered in slime, Mothra was beaten, and she knew it. At any more punishment, and she would surely perish. Rearing her head back, she called out to the cave. A golden sparkle of light emerged from the cave, flew past Hedorah, and attached itself to one of Mothra's lower feelers. The cosmos Slowly turning away, Mothra flapped her wings and began to leave Infant Island. She would return to fight another day. Hedorah would not allow this. Raising his arms, Hedorah fired another bolt of energy from its eye. The beam reached out over the ocean, struck Mothra in the thorax, engulfing the insect in a burst of fire. Spewing flames and smoke, Mothra plummeted from the sky and crashed into the ocean, sending tidal waves in every direction. Hedorah watched Mothra strike the sea and hunched over. In bright pink flashes, the smog monster transformed into its swimming stage and stepped into the ocean. Now it would finish her. Winner, Hedorah.
Seems like this match is trying to save up for a sequel.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of hard to tell. Like, it's open enough to where there could have been a sequel, but at the same time, it also very much indicates Mothra screwed. So, depending on how you look at it.
My favorite part was when the author had Mothra saying she really had enough. Like, she really had enough.
Yes, when finally Mothra had enough.
Also, like,
on that note, I am officially out of here.
Okay, alright. Aw.
I'll talk to you guys later.
Alright.
See ya.
Say goodbye to MM, everyone.
No one will miss you.
D-move, GVJ. D-move.
Also, speaking of D-move, I also like the part where it said, with a mighty fap, Mothra managed to write herself.
It says flap, but you just removed the L. You sucker.
Hey, if the author could put had twice in a row, then I think I could do a Liberty.
Okay, fair enough. Between Kumaso Kama Gidon and Godzilla. Oh, good glory. That was... Yeah, I mean, it's like the match, I don't know, there's just I don't know, it just didn't feel like the monsters were used to their fullest. Like, Mothra felt very underpowered, and Hedorah, like, it's not like there was a cool aerial battle or anything, it was just kind of standard.
Yeah. And I do like the ending, though, where it says Hedorah walks into the ocean to finish her off. I thought that was kind of cool.
Right. Like, the idea of, oh, maybe someone will be there to save Mothra, maybe she'll actually be finished off. It's like, it's open-ended enough to where you kind of know where it's going to go, but it's open-ended enough to where a sequel could go on, but we all know Hedorah ultimately won that match. As a bit of a nitpick, I don't remember Mothra's scales ever being specifically electric. From what I've looked up, I think they're actually poison, but they just have these weird reflective properties. So, which again, I think that was another element that was very underutilized in here, like the scales. Like, couldn't we have seen a moment where Hedorah used his I-beam and, freeing, the energy would have been redirected back at him or something? That would have been pretty neat, but yeah, as of right now, it's like, it's just kind of standard and a bit more in the not necessarily overly creative kind, just kind of eh.
Yeah.
But yeah. Other than that,
yeah, I already stated my two favorite parts.
Right. So that was Mothra versus Hedorah, and we will see you guys next time for match 22. Until then,